Today we begin the special ceremony here in Washington, D.C. in the Dharma Center of Ahkon Lhamo. And this particular function is a religious function. It's not performed for any other reason.
Ahkon Lhamo Tata
And the reason is because Ahkon Lhamo was the sister of the founder of our Palyul tradition, Kunzang Sherab, and she was a Genyenma, or also a very good practitioner, and was blessed in this regard, and so His Holiness recognized her accordingly. Now, prior to this, Ahkon Lhamo has not had the opportunity to really study the traditional Buddhist teachings and practices. However, because her nature is very steeped in the thought of benefiting and working for the welfare of others, these instructions have been given, and so the Dharma Center and the practice going on here is very good. There are few people who think about benefiting others. Mostly we think about just a concern for ourselves. And so the reason that His Holiness had thought to recognize her was based upon this particular condition. And so the thought to be of benefit to others is the main foundation of the Dharma path to begin with. And also because we have a special connection, interdependent connection with Ahkon Lhamo, and have a strong regard for one another, based on these circumstances and conditions, His Holiness recognized her accordingly. The ultimate goal of our path is the achievement of Buddhahood. And when one is actually in the state of achieving a state of Buddhahood, this is the same as achieving a state of perfect omniscience, which is absolutely unobstructed or unblocked. Now, His Holiness says that he has not achieved this state and that he is not a Buddha. Because when the state of Buddhahood has been achieved, there is nothing that is not known, there is nothing that is not foreseen, there is nothing that cannot be manifested or actualized. And so these miraculous qualities are something that His Holiness does not claim to possess. However, from the time of taking the vows of refuge until the ultimate goal of Buddhahood is achieved, there are 5 paths, there are 10 bodhisattva bhumis, or levels, and according to the strength of the individual practitioners, they will achieve various levels of realization as they ascend the higher stages on the path, not just by putting on robes or having some external appearance. So from His Holiness' point of view, he is an individual who is ascending the different levels on the path. At this particular time, this is the time of the coming of Lord Buddha Shakyamuni into this world. And it is a time that only that particular Buddha was to come and came. However, there will be the coming of many other bodhisattvas. Guru Rinpoche is none other than the manifestation of all of the Buddhas of the three times, dwelling in a state of ageless, eternal realization. Guru Rinpoche, or the Mapun Pema Juni, the lotus-born Vajra Guru, as we refer to him, this is his name. His name is not Buddha. So therefore, it should be understood that at a time when only one Buddha comes into the world, that is the Buddha that we recognize. And so we shouldn't recognize, that's Buddha Shakyamuni, so we shouldn't recognize His Holiness as the Buddha, because he's not the Buddha. Now, however, concerning the various knowledge or qualities of the enlightened mind, he doesn't claim to have a very vast or extensive understanding, but he does know some small points. There are those who say that His Holiness is the incarnation of Panchen Bimala Mitra. His Holiness says that he has the blessing or the prayer or the aspiration of Bimala Mitra, but he doesn't claim to absolutely be the incarnation of Bimala Mitra. But people will still say that he's Bimala Mitra, but he's not. In the snowland of Tibet, there are 6 major traditions for the earlier translation school known as the Nyingma, and one of them is the Palyul tradition, and the Palyul is one of the 6 major lineages and 6 mother monasteries. So His Holiness is absolutely the head of the Palyul tradition and mother monastery. And this Palyul monastery is not a small monastery, it is very great, very large. The monastery had only been in existence for about 400 years, not for a very long time. From the time of Rigzin Kunzang Sherab, the founder of the monastery and tradition, and on through the succession to now, there is said that there are some 1,000 or more branch monasteries, which are Palyul branch monasteries to the mother monastery. However, in His Holiness's time in Tibet, he knew of about 300. And so, because His Holiness is the supreme head of the entire tradition, he also was in charge of every single one of these branch monasteries as well, because he is the supreme head of the tradition that all of them were following. And so he was selected and appointed accordingly. So for all of these monasteries, His Holiness had the absolute authority for all of the administrative duties, rules and regulations, and for all of the recognition of the incarnates and all of the appointments and so forth for the spiritual enthronements of the different practitioners. And so based on that position of authority, it is from that point of view that His Holiness has recognized Ahkon Lhamo to be the Genyenma Ahkon Lhamo, sister of Rigzin Kunzang Sherab. And in giving her this name, His Holiness, giving her the same name, His Holiness had the thought that this would be able to give her a great blessing which would enter into her. And so in having given her the name, now this is the time for the enthronement. And she doesn't have any duties or responsibilities in worldly type of administration or political concerns. What is her responsibility at this point as a tulku is that she is responsible for propagating the Dharma and for being of benefit to sentient beings, and she has no other responsibility than that. And so therefore today we have all gathered together as a Dharma assembly, and also with His Holiness's monks from the Namdroling Monastery and all of the Sangha members from this particular group and other places who have come together to make this very auspicious connection and occasion. And also many of you have come here on this day to be a part of the ceremony and to observe it, and also to make a connection here. And so for all of you, His Holiness offers you his warmest greetings and the traditional Tashi delay. And also there are a lot of cameras here, cameramen, photographers, and camera women. Actually, in this type of a ceremony, traditionally, photography is not allowed. And yet, because His Holiness was aware that the center and everyone really felt it would be good to have some publicity for the occasion, He's allowed it to happen. But we should also know that this usually is not allowed in this type of a ceremony. And also, it's been allowed so that the connection can be made. There may be an attitude that because this is happening here in America, then naturally we would like to let the news be spread out. But usually for this type of an enthronement, it is not something that is propagated in a broader sense, and the enthronement is done in order to make the auspicious link from a religious point of view, but not for publicity. However, we are in America, the United States, and publicity is an important thing, and we may think it is strange not to have publicity. But there's also the point that up until now, many students have sort of complained or have felt, why is it that there are not any American tulkus? Why is it that there are not any female tulkus? And so, since not only just to His Holiness Penor Rinpoche have these complaints come in, but to many of the Tibetan lamas, and so now that there is not only an American tulku, but a woman tulku, those of you who were complaining should be feeling very happy. Bodhisattvas send manifestations into innumerable types of bodies, amongst animals, anywhere. Anyone could be a bodhisattva, so this is uncertain. We cannot say for sure who is going to be a bodhisattva, like what the form will appear to be. We cannot determine exactly. Generally, when a tulku or intentional reincarnation comes into the world, it is only into a place where there is some purpose. Otherwise, there is no point to be there. There has to be a purpose for sentient beings. Because the bodhisattvas have the freedom to incarnate in the form that they need to take on in order to help. So we'll begin the ceremony today. Usually, see, the ceremony is inserted at this particular point in the bestowing of the Rinchen Terzet empowerment, so it's actually part of the empowerment ceremony. And so those who are a part of the empowerments are the ones who really should be here, but many others have come as well, and so once again, although it's a bit untraditional, we will all partake of the ceremony together. And so please make very auspicious prayers. And His Holiness is always teaching on a regular basis that in order to actually experience the Dharma and engage in the mainstream of a spiritual practice, it has to happen with one's mind. It doesn't happen outside of ourselves. So the blessings will come through a lineage which is unbroken and which is purely upholding the pure words of honor, which have never been decreased or defiled. And so based on that potency which His Holiness possesses, and based on the prayers that you must make, then an interdependent connection is made. And it's through that interdependent connection that the blessings will be actually transmitted to you. And that happens within your own mind. So therefore, you should give rise to the awakened mind, which is a thought to always work for the benefit of others, the bodhicitta mind, and you should take the vow or make the promise to actually follow through with that aspirations in your activities and in your daily works. You shouldn't have attachment, you shouldn't have aversion or delusion towards sentient beings. You should be totally impartial by considering that the number of sentient beings is as limitless as the limitless boundaries of space, and all of those beings are suffering intensely in the round of cyclic existence. And so, with this type of thought, to try to be of benefit to them, it should be done with a mind of the equality, with an equal feeling towards all of them.
Nama Sarvata Ngate Bayo Bika Mukebe Sarvate Kungate Sava Timongangana Konde Hana Edam Balayande Soha Sarva Bing Nama Sarvata Ngate Bayo Bika Mukebe Sarvate Savarana Mongangana Konde Hana Edam Balayande Soha Medan Sumane Hondana Hana
The meaning for what just occurred, that particular part of the ceremony, is the consideration of all of the intensity of the negative habitual instincts and clinging that have been accrued over countless past lifetimes, have taken on the form of demonic forces and obstructing forces, which actually arise from none other than the grasping or cherishing of the self. The next step is the purification rite, and this is done primarily based on the consideration that from countless past lifetimes until now, we have accumulated a tremendous amount of negative karma through the 5 pollutants, or deluded states of mind. Therefore, based on entering into a state of delusion, we have actually accumulated all types of negative karma or non-virtue. That has produced the condition which has obscured the true nature of our mind, which is none other than the 5 states of primordial wisdom. So because the 5 wisdoms, which are the true nature of our mind, are veiled or obscured, we are wandering endlessly in the 3 realms of cyclic existence. So what we need to abandon are the 5 pollutants or delusions, and what we need to actualize are the 5 states of primordial wisdom. So therefore, through the purification, one meditates upon oneself as the meditational deity, and generates deity awareness, and from the form of the deity, you should consider that the nectar comes, and as the nectar light comes into you, it purifies all of this negative karma and obscurations. Now, at this particular point, we receive the empowerment, which of the 5 different types of treasures that were buried in Tibet, this is a northern treasure, and this treasure, or terma, was revealed by another one of the great manifestations of Guru Padmasambhava, Rigzen Guddem. And the terma is a particular empowerment which is usually bestowed at the time of enthroning tulkus, and also at the time of enthroning spiritual teachers, at the time of actually enthroning kings of the country and or Dharma kings. And so this is a very profound blessing, and this is a very profound way to engage in the mainstream of the blessings, to bring forth the powers and potencies and accumulate a tremendous amount of merit. Now, all of you should no longer consider that this abode or dwelling place is ordinary. You should see it as the celestial palace of Vajrapani, and you should consider that it is spontaneously accomplished as such, and it is fully endowed with all of the qualities of the celestial palace mandala. And that the Vajra master is Vajrapani, and should be actually viewed as Vajrapani with fervent regard and confidence. That Jetsunma and the rest of you all are viewed as the bodies of the deities within the palace, and so you no longer see your body as a corporal body made of flesh, bones, and blood, but actually as the primordial wisdom body of the deity within the wisdom mandala.
Number Shivi Kilon Jimbo, Jarusoya, Anil Ala Nijiji, Korea Jimbo, Tobale, want to know the Gunji, Chetonjit, Indula Timbayan, the Jerwale, Chetonji, Rangi, Chetonji, Kachaja, Tembe, the Joton, Oli Tonji, Sure, number single. Several levels and number 2 Jimbo, Conrin, Dojan, Shogi, Tajan, 2 and them. To correspond to number Kusun to Jerangis, Junguro Koli Botones on the Tabi, the Jeshotan Debe, Consul on the Sessions, the Jen and Chitin and Daton Jet, Tarajo, Delegan, Ranjungi, Lai Poton, Sandy, Kusun to Dorji Jungoto, Yemishi, Satara, to the Jarochi, to get among us, Toma, Kala, what that is it in Toronto, Tada Condi Kevagan, Narson Desert to Satonji, no Barshana Doji, Kinkam Tonlogy, Gary account, number Puntum Toba Yevacino, the Toronto Jerry, so him over the Yega Akar, Hotela, Jackie Condi Yevachi, Tessa.
Now, visualizing yourself as Vajrapani within the celestial palace mandala, which is fully endowed with all of the qualities and characteristics, you should consider that at this point that your rigpa, or your pristine presence awareness, is a white syllable ah, which is surrounded by 8 ni. And from that, the light rays radiate out into all of the directions, penetrating into humans and spirits and gods and rishis, and extracting or gathering from them all of their merit, all of their fully endowed qualities, all of their strength, all of their power, and the essence of the essence of what they possess, gathering that and bringing that back in and causing that to dissolve
bought in them. Nirmana, what she won in number on Cherabji double number. Nirmana, Niji wants you, Papa Sheredi.
And in your throat is white Chenrezi, the manifestation of compassion, with one face and 4 arms. The first 2 palms are pressed together at the heart, and the third and fourth are holding a crystal mala and a white lotus. And in your heart is Vajrapani, who is blue, who holds a Vajra in the right hand and a bell in the left. So in this way you should consider that in your body, speech, and mind are the 3 classes of protectors, Manjushri, Chenrezi, and Vajrapani. And once again from them, from their bodies, light rays radiate out into the 3 realms of cyclic existence, extracting the very essence of all life force and of all pure qualities and endowments and virtues, and bringing that back in, gathering that and causing that to dissolve into you, so that all of those blessings increase within you and become fully expanded. In this way, then, considering the originally pure nature, the originally perfected nature, which is the nature of primordial freedom or liberation, you should consider that that Buddha nature is your very presence. And so as you visualize yourself as the deity within the celestial palace, you should consider then that all of the holders of the doctrine, all of the upholders of the doctrine, are bestowing upon you the blessing or the authorization for the empowerment for the shoes.
Oh, Mama, that's so long. Oh, yeah.
And now the next empowerment is for the white scarf, and this is symbolic also of the bodhicitta mind and the establishing the connection to always maintain very purely the 3 virtues that correspond to the body, the 4 that correspond to the speech, and the 3 that correspond to the mind, which are in fact the 10 virtues. Now the next empowerment is for the golden colored sash, and this is symbolic of the 4 immeasurable qualities which must be developed or engendered in one's mind: the immeasurable love, immeasurable compassion or mercy, immeasurable joy, and immeasurable equanimity, which are engendered and maximized for the benefit of all parent sentient beings until this cyclic existence is empty. And so this type of auspicious link is being made as you receive this empowerment. Now, as this cloak is given, is offered to be worn upon the body, you should consider that it actually maximizes all fully endowed qualities of the body as well.
No, the Nandarongan and the Vedaki Sujigan, I give by a Sanjay Chidong and Mobidokan, La Santo, the Jutaki got the major was the major. Kunakuma Jatova, Lamata, Baton, and Sanjatan, Lamata, and the Baton, and the Taki Bamba. But the Jetta said, Commotion, Bata, in your Motivana, Matan, and you move on to Gundo, but the Jepican look on the road, and my son. So the Majala, some the Lord, Gentle Jetaki, the Jinan, and Palayan, Kamal, and the moment of Papa, Manager, the Water, the Jet on the Judges on the Judicial. Jetsunma Ahkon Lhamo Jala, some the Lord, some by Jim, the Neverment on the Nojero, and not so much about the law, and this is all that they will not take a lot on the Jim. The Jetinja, the Magilon, the King and the Taki deliver on you on the sons of Alame Gunjo, Taki Gunja, Janet, Taki, Patava, Taki, Jideo, Chileva, Taki, the Mojan to Shibi, on the Mende, or Digging, Taki, go, Jarvot, and the Lady Bug. Taki go, Santo Tanzania, Tambe, Jetsunma, the one thing at Taki go, talking on the Tendigo, the name on the road, and they are digging Taki, Yomba Jendo, the Nolan, they want Taki go, Dodge, to Ramos, Janet, and they are digging Taki, Sakapon, Jim, the Jetta Baby and the Hagan and the Hotigan Dagi, Immortaki, David, and the Maga, the Mortaki, Sibin, Mark, what is Nasso? In the Joyaba, Mamma, by a lot of Moja, Noburum Boja, the Morum Boja, the Morum Boja, Tanjurum Boja, Mabarum Boja, the Jamoya Bomba, Gibama, Diama, Loma, Garma, Meduma, Divema, Notrama, Nima, Davar, Moji, do Solan, Maraja, Jantan, Lama, Banjo, Matu, Mebanini. Nami Dividun, the Miji, Uncle, Moraje, or do Jendo, and Genetindela, Dodo, Sage, Bejikim, Nukananda can la Jabaraco, Dangoro, Namena, Bodamega, Samada, Savarana, Samai. Dinka la Demandi, Doje, Lorenson Jeba, Tisum Gula Santalo, Choson, Dembi, Kinjara, Mime, Yeti, Ninja, Yeti Dandri, Tapi, Cheba Gedo, Nudu, Chuo Devi, Nije, Mani Gover, Soju, Cosum David, Maja, Sela Dio, Tapi, Taki Diman, Ruby, Sonju Sensit, Diki, Onsu Senjan, Giba, Sonju Limble, Sera Dui Lenam, Detention de Jembo, Lion Saw and the Bandi, Chimen, Momo Pemanjo. So when Yipe Tobal, Tuji Chimen Yergon, say on the Mariko, Netanyanaman. So by Mago, Tonje, Tonje, Tori, Domani, don't be more Niji Denji, Dendo, Loman, DJ, Kotoje, Bumba, Mimiba, Nankan, Sendi Tawagan, the Disum, Denji, Nungi, Sibi, Cheton, Jistin, and Bin, Nanjur, Tonje, and Zinjar. Benman, June, Kerti, Sony, Magalama, and Don Chavas, some Jetiba, to be Dada, Sumba Garbo, no Jetiba, to be Saveting Gasso, Tava, to be Dada, Chigim of Sendoki, Levetiba, Janaba, Soye, Tajirongi, to Jeting about Dibi Turgent, and Mahembe Kabala, to Mundan, Ragaj, no, she may get to the 7 General. Sunday number Jehoyana Lajam and
Now you should consider that everything transforms into the nature of suchness or emptiness. And then from within the nature of emptiness, instantaneously you should visualize yourself as Padmasambhava in the aspect of Nangsik Zulman. We're wearing the robes of ordination and the cloak with long arms, and the inner garment of Guru Padmasambhava. With a trident in the cleft of your left arm, you hold a vajra in the right hand up into space. The left hand holds a skull filled with the vase of long life, which has the nectar of immortality and a sprig of a wish-granting tree arising from that. Your 3 places are marked with Om in the crown, Ah in the throat, and Hum in the heart. Light rays radiate out boundlessly into the 10 directions, invoking all of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, especially radiating into the southwest Pure Land of Guru Padmasambhava. Padmasambhava and his ocean-like assembly come forward from all directions in space, like snowflakes in a blizzard, dissolving into you, becoming non-dual and bestowing all of the blessings and spiritual attainments. This is a long life empowerment, which is given initially at the time of the authorization, because whatever works we want to accomplish, basically we need to have the longest period of time to live, so we need to have a long life.
Here's done at the song. Here's a dance. Try to sit down. Tolerate, you know. Shaq didn't kill it down and said it. You don't do it. Some of them are going to you to carry Hakum. Rinpoche in the carry. Rinpoche. Goodbye on touch. Hey, any matter. I'm going to remember this at a certain letter. I was teaching. So, I long to teach them could come just for them. Yeah, Charlie, sound. No Rinpoche Wangi Jarbe to the Jembe Sentensi Conjure, he can go to one of your Chimbo to run. Norwood and Wangi Jarbo, the Chison Jarbe, you buy Tonje Sambit Jarbe, Kunlatin, the Jimbago, and another Dar and Navikin. So, talk to good. Oh, yeah. Oh. Oh, Lhamo. Somebody then, so you don't give it to the southern Burris, and all on Shanga, so I am a daughter, Yachi chicken, Purajuji, Tonson Surgeon, and he won't be now Jimbo to Roju, or somebody that's okay, go to the Jarro shot the boy, Solomon Lonshanga, Jeju, Tonson and Jarro, not another, such as I began the home. I began the Nanjing, we got to net that the Gillis Shibi, that they get on Tera Coron on Sandurit, and that keep it changing on another.
Now the main empowerments for the authorization are complete at this point, and we'll begin with the empowerments for the auspicious signs and symbols.
Gillis Shibi, Siki Banjana, Manga, Tomata, Kibi Romo, Yojenamagi. Canton get you gone and on to Tarzan, some did Dembe Johnson, the Jarre not the sentient the shit Dembe tender, Lunge to one, the Novo Dungeon, the Chison Jarvo Jalan, Canton Tonde, Chiji, Diagon, Sente, Tonde, get you, Baraku. I don't know the Chiji. Pues hola, ¿no son? Nudado Maraiko Meno Janta Demi Zolgin, Jeshon Jaro Jelanga, Sonje Dema Drinje, Lame Chije Jantan, Waraiko. That because Thomas teacher three in I had to. Sente Danje Deshe Dam Barako. Oh, yeah. College on Rinpoche, Lame Colodamba, or another big Lama College. Colle wants you did it on the Juju Cologo, want the Mato Conjo Sonje and Rinpoche, Korean, and the day in Mojo. Again, Oman big or Mochi won't create, but maybe on them. Saron David did that on Monday, on the get sitting and me want them out of the Parusian Jis on the CBC, Carazon, the more much. Do I get on to make give away, tell on Chitella? Ah, so they are not big, the me won't create and yet on the thing and the key to. Nitendin de beche on to what on a daron again it they are again the be want the mother not deeper Kona Jenda Pato Jenkin and Dolana Ninja Sotemba on the Moran Courage Jato Dorago Boga Purukara began so maybe one go lie me a number of the Bobby Noten Rongi give out on the Tassin and Kijaton de la Toba maybe want the mother Tibala Mental and Bego and Latin and Gumeta and Dogato Jelombo Rumbo Sujoto Donga Dobrago headed and Nabic and Lombo won't grow. Don't take it, dig it, touch it, the Tibetan Michilan, what the mother of George, Courage, and then you don't look. Don't get and you don't watch it. Many I'm not Ramga, and George won't go and do on a Mezivian and Debbie in the Chenny, what the mother of George, and Nevi Ponjot and Diego, and Yibi General, and Dijon, me Moban, to the Kigorana became a mother, and did you want to get to know Tavero, Tombo, and you gave a photo on the mother of George. Danya Kira Midon de Conde Naye Jevarhu Mongala Menza Abigundo Ho Jidon Yesheron Drado Dosa Nyando Dembark Mongala Abigundo Puma Gundere Wakondana Mendian Toriko Mongala Kumba Abigundo O Johnson Mino Dembe Basonje Dem Abigundo O Barbe Beo Made Tomato No Dember Mongala Veda Begando No Kolo de Jagata Menji Dorje Dor Mongala Tata Begando Demba Jave Shinjala Pita Kibe Tencho Jenala Lado Debe Chara Yinji Taki Don Gili Kachala Jave Tendala Lunje Dujo Ji Ho Melon Janto Jembot Kushin Zuje Chola Honda Endara Bigandom Lete Maro Wange Rongen de Constance Kudu Divarakyo Pema Lete Abigando Give to some Seri Meme Jojan and I give on the Turuka Kidney Guru Abigando Youngara Tobi Zencho Dambane Baje Denge Kiwi Wondo Zatuma Abigando Sancho Dove Saying Dune Chime Zona Jebi Wondo Ayuki Abigando Oma Kyune Jencho Dambade Yante Gunje Nimbo Lambaryo Daya Bigando Chidun Garo Nimbe Sazon Ye Damche Dashen Yon La Chabariko Dhamma Sarva Abigando Chidze Piva Taki Dendi Dengata Nani Tsenda Tobarak Benza Pura Abigando Tetrata Kita Divangra Son可以吧？嗯。第七期，第一天到去。Om Dharma Hedu Dava Edendekanda Dangadaya and Degandayan. What it doesn't,
So everyone can come forward and offer a scarf.
No, yeah, someone there. Garage, she's watching. Oh, sit down. It is a decision. Ah, no, I got the other. Ah. Mario, color. This is good.
Everyone, please try to speed up. Those who are done, please go back to where you were before.
Mama cham command on color city going to go. Pay a tatty cham. Did I hit your son? Cham chief of the guardian, cause them dog here. Cham said, color fuel. Mama cannot cause a tatty here. Conoscere tenenti sono calata di cittadini calata arma head drava head neganda danga ya ane man ma ya do mo do ba ngawa jer ni de sonje ngombo dhamma dhamma ma sonje bema najra dande jan ine java de ge da ge go dhamma lane Sanjay Jamba Dende Dele Kyo Sanjay Gonda Dodon Mendoa Dera Dende Dende Kiva Jara Lami Jeva Jela Sandra Dende Dele Kyo Sanjay Gonda Dodon Dera Dende Dende Deje Zoje Dama Lami Jeva Dende Gere Donda Deje Kyo Maintain the vision of the water, the mother. You are the one to the lake, all of that. Get away.
Now then, giving the authorization in conjunction with the auspicious point in the bestowing of the entire Rinchen Terzot empowerments, these 2 points have come together and we have successfully enthroned Jetsunma Ahkon Lhamo. second dance this afternoon will be the frolicking of the snow lion. And the snow lion usually doesn't appear except for the most auspicious, important occasion, such as the visit of a king to a district or area, or the visit of a high lama to a particular area or monastery. And so it's considered that if one has an opportunity to see the snow lion, or the snow lion to come out and frolic, then it's a very auspicious coincidence, and it also bestows a lot of good fortune and auspiciousness upon those who are here, have an opportunity to see the snow lion.